$100 million. We ended up with $35 million, of course, and the legislative process is, it's a build your own compromise. And as Margaret had mentioned, the House came in at $25 million. We're not going to get to $100 million having to leverage against that $25 million mark. So, you have $35 million. I hope that we're able to make the most of this moving forward. And I think the key here is for legislators and for our Office of Broadband Development, for the Governor's Office, for folks to see the interest that's out there in Minnesota in continuing this broadband fund. So I want applications to come forward. And I think that's probably the most important thing. Let's take advantage of this round 3 funding, go into a full budget year next year, and have additional momentum. I want to be talking about $100 million again next year. And so I think that that's important for us, just to continue to build the momentum. And so we're in a good position here in Minnesota. You look at the Senate position, we were proposing to take those state speed goal recommendations of the task force, 25 by 3 by 2022, 100 by 20 by 2026, put those into statute. Also some good goals there regarding Minnesota's leadership position, which we continued forward. I think it's important for us to look at the big picture, not just speeds, as it pertains to Minnesota only. But we put those recommendations into statute, and also in the Senate proposal, we applied them to our thresholds for unserved and underserved. Wanted to be consistent with what we've done the last couple of years. What we did in 2014 when we created the fund, we had our the federal definition of broadband was our threshold for unserved. And that, as we know with broadband and bandwidth, the definitions change over time because bandwidth needs change. So that federal definition of broadband has changed, up to 25 by 3. That actually guided the fund in round 2 last year, 25 by 3 threshold, which was stated. We continued that forward, didn't change anything there. But we thought there was a great value in having an underserved threshold, just to allow for more ideas to come forward, and also in recognition that there are a lot of parts of the state that are not strictly unserved or underserved, but rather you have service territories or communities or school districts or counties that are a mix of both. And we want to hear good ideas from applicants, whether it's local communities or cooperatives or providers. We want to hear your ideas and inspire that kind of visioning and thoughtfulness around broadband infrastructure. And so applying that 100 by 20 speed goal, which was in the Governor's task force, to our definition of underserved was exactly consistent with what we did in 2014. Might be a big number for some, but I think it's important for us to recognize in our statute, we give priority to underserved areas. But